In Unit 14, Part 2, we are going to talk about the distance formula. So the distance formula applies to points on a graph. So we want to find the distance between 2 points. This is the formula that we'll use. So the formula is written for you. So all of that is underneath a radical, underneath the square root. So it's the square root of x2 minus x1 to the second power plus y2 minus y1 to the second power. Remember that the x2 and the x1, the y2 and the y1 are like when we did slope. So those subset 2's and 1's are just labels. They're not an actual operation. But then the squared part is actually squaring. So it says to find the distance between the points, write your answer in the simplest form. So we have 4 points up here. The first thing you want to do is make sure you just figure out where each point is. So A is at -3, 4. Remember the x always comes first and then the y. B is at -2, -1. C is at 1, -1. And D is at 2, 3. So write down all those points so we can use them for this formula. So we want the distance between A and B. So I'm going to rewrite the formula just so we have it. So D equals the square root of x2 minus x1 to the second power plus y2 minus y1 to the second power. And then we're just going to plug in our coordinates to the formula. So D equals x2, so that would be the x coordinate on B is -2 minus x1, which is -3. And then we're going to square that, plus y2 would be -1 minus y1, which is 4. So now it's just all a matter of making sure you keep track of everything and simplifying. So -2 minus -3 is really -2 plus 3. So that's just going to give us 1 squared plus -1 minus 4 is -5 squared. So D equals the square root. 1 squared is 1. -5 squared is 25. And then we continue to simplify, so D equals the square root of 26. There is no square root of 26, and it doesn't have any factors that have a square root, so I'm done right there. All right, let's look at another example. I'll leave number 2 for you. I'm going to come down here and do number 3. So again, our formula is D equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. All of that underneath the square root. So when I plug this in, x2 is 2, x1 is 1, y2 is 3, and y1 is -1. Working that out now, 2 minus 1 is 1. 3 minus -1 is 3 plus 1, which is 4. 1 squared is 1. 4 squared is 16. And I put those together, I get the square root of 17. There is no square root of 17, and it doesn't have any factors square root either. So 3 and 4, I'll leave for you to try. Again, make sure you plug everything in correctly and go step by step. Do not try to skip any steps or you'll make mistakes. On the back, on these first two problems, they actually give you the points, so they do part of the work for you. But I'm going to go over these because they're both going to involve having to, I'm going to go over one of them because it's going to involve having to simplify the radical. So before I start, I'm going to want to label x1, y1, x2, y2, just so I can keep track. And remember, our formula is D equals square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So now plugging into our formula, we'll get D equals the square root of -2 minus 1 squared plus 2 minus 5 squared. So D equals, we continue work it out. So we get negative 3 squared plus negative 3 squared. So d equals square root of 9 plus 9, which is 18. Now, 18 doesn't have a square root, but if we break that down, we can do the square root of 9 times the square root of 2. The square root of 9 is 3, so that goes outside. 2 stays on the inside. Our final answer is 3 root 2. You guys try number 2, and then there's some review problems on here. You need to make sure you get all those done. Just let me know if you have any questions.